Recorded live from the dungeon, this is the Dream Warrior Review, and I'm Kurt Thomas.
And coming at you live from the hills of Tennessee, straight from his Tennessee Hyundai,
I'm Mick Strawn.
Mick Strawn.
One of my coworkers told me, he likes this show called Baskets with Zach Galifianakis. I'm like, what? It's like I like Zach. I didn't know this. I wasn't even on my radar. And so he's like, yeah, it has this guy named Chip and this other guy named Dale, and they're twins. I'm like, what the? So with that first sentence, I'm like, okay, I'm in. I'm totally in. And and they have other twins that are their adopted brothers that are DJs, and the mother is played by Louis Anderson. That's probably all I need to say about this. But
the mother by Louis Anderson was hysterical.
Well, I binged this, and I'm already into season 3, episode 3, I think.
Oh, my God. I was going to say, how many? I only had time to get one, which is kind of funny because I binged the other one.
Right.
The other thing that we're watching, I couldn't put it down.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. We'll talk about this too later. We'll talk about the other thing, which is we'll just put in this episode.
Right.
We're going to talk about the first ever scripted IMDb show called "You're Not a Monster," coming up later.
Oh,
see that? You like that?
That was nice. That was
we're tickling our audience's ass with a feather. That's what I like to do. You heard me. Sitting in your car listening to this podcast. Does your ass tickle?
That's better than poking down the hole in their penis with a pipe cleaner.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to.
Speaking of continuity,
I don't recommend it at all.
So what'd you think of? So I'm trying to figure out why the brother has an accent.
I have to say this. I truly love the worlds that Zach Galifianakis moves in. You know, I mean, because he obviously builds almost the same world every time. I like him better in this world than I did in his Two Ferns world.
Oh yeah, right? Yeah, me too.
The thing about him in his Two Ferns world is that he's only got a redeeming character. It's like the character that he plays in the Two Ferns show doesn't seem at all like the character in the rest of the show, right? And
yes.
and he works really hard to create like this. I don't know. There's a certain aspect to it where this is he's supposed to be in Bakersfield, right?
Yeah.
And he has created like this whole other Bakersfield world that is part of the world that he always does. It's only he fits in it a little bit better or a little bit worse, you know,
right?
As it may be.
Well, this actually he was actually one of the creators, as well as Louis C.K. and Jonathan Crystal. That's not ringing a bell, but Portlandia. I think he helped on I think he wrote on Portlandia.
Well, that's you know what? There's a lot of that world in there. There's a lot of the Portlandia.
Well, I like Portlandia, and I like it because some of the stuff is just so off the wall that it's like you can't believe that they're actually filming it. And the characters, like where do they find the actors for this? They're amazing.
Yeah. There's something about that. The world building, kind of in Portlandia. Also, it has very much the same world building. You know, it's a super hyper exaggerated.
Absolutely.
Portland, and you know, and this is it's taking all the just weird, quaint. You know what it does is it takes everything that's quaint, throws it into a compressor, and then sprays it out on the set,
right?
Where you can look at it with a magnifying glass, right?
Right. Yeah.
It's just it's just hilarious, and the fact that we're talking about somebody who's trying to sit between the worlds of like a French clown.
Yeah.
Clue.
And the circus.
The French clown that he goes to take French clown lessons in France,
Right.
but he can't speak French.
A clue.
and the circus clown.
Do you know what's
And,
crazy about this? Louis Anderson plays like he's kind of
the
he's
straight man.
He's like the Rock. He's like the Rock of
Yeah.
the show, and he like all the chaos happens around him, and he or her, and she tries to like help everybody out. She's like trying to help everyone at the same time. She's trying to like kind of come into her own like, what I mean. There's a lot of heart there. I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There is a funny there is one thing that I really that I always want Zach to be that he never is even a little bit. It is you would think that his character would just be just a little bit nice.
Well, yeah, he has moments where you think he's being nice, but it's like usually by accident.
But he's got a loop on it, right? There's a loop to the end of it.
Yes.
It's
kind of the same thing with his brother. His brother Dale is kind of a jerk.
Oh, absolutely. It's sort of like as he starts to look like he's being nice, it's like he's pulling the rubber band that's attached, that's right in front of your eye, right?
Yeah.
And then he lets it go.
Actually, I kind of like I like Dale. I mean, if I had to pick like Chip or Dale, I think I like Dale. He cracks me up more.
Absolutely. Dale was Dale was better to me, was better worked out, but I need to see more of them.
Yeah,
But Louis Anderson was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
Well, what's weird about this is also I know that Louis Anderson he was talking about I think I was obsessed over this. I watched a clip on YouTube with Louis Anderson talking about how he was trying to lose weight at the same time they were shooting like the first couple seasons. And so his life kind of parallels the life of the woman he's playing. And he says he forgets that he's a guy sometimes when he's playing the part, which is kind of crazy, but you can kind of see that in this performance. It's like he totally buys the part that he's playing.
Oh yeah, well he's played this role before.
Oh, he has.
Oh yeah, no.
I'm not really that familiar with him, other than that cartoon he did and some stand-up stuff that he did.
Yeah, no, he's played the somewhere before. I've seen him as that exact character on another show.
Oh wow. Yeah, I remember him in Coming to America.
Yeah.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, that's a while back. He actually looks pretty good for his age. And for being a woman.
Right. So I don't know. One thing I like. Okay, I kind of forgot to say one thing that I really, really like about this movie or this show.
This series. Yeah.
Everybody's an asshole, like except for the mom. She's the only one. I mean, the French wife. I mean, oh my god, that's a really interesting character. That's definitely a Portlandia type of character. The French. Love interest.
That's horrendous. That's just great. But his friend from the insurance company.
Yes. Oh gosh, yeah, she's great.
And I have to say that just the way that they were filming the car and the motor scooter in the first episode, I thought she's gonna hit. As soon as she was there, right?
Yeah, of course.
As soon as she and they're talking in front of it, and I go, when is she going to get out and knock that motorcycle over? And then they gave the reason for it before it was going to happen. I was like, well, there you go. I don't need you anymore. That motorcycle's going down. Yes, absolutely.
well, there's that part where she's I think it's in season 3 where she says this line that just like slayed me. It was like the way she delivered it was pretty funny because they were in this situation that was pretty scary, and she's like, I'm gonna start screaming any minute, and then she's like, I'm totally freaking out. Like, just the way she like delivered the line was like,
totally freaking out.
Yeah, I'm gonna start screaming unless something changes pretty soon. Like,
So you know, I have to get it up there in the mid threes.
yes,
I would say a 3.3. Because there's something about I think that he builds Galifianakis builds the greatest worlds. I think the world that they built that he's working in is great. But oddly enough, is the main character is the character I like the least out of everybody in it.
Who's that?
Galifianakis.
See, I kind of see the main character as the mom, actually.
Oh, really?
A little bit more. I mean,
That's interesting.
well, I just see her as the central character, not really necessarily
Right.
the main character, but I'm actually more tuned in when she's on the screen than I am when Zach's on there.
Right. And I liked his brother. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the same actor.
Yeah, I know.
The brother better.
Well, I think Zach maybe he came up with that character. Maybe he came up with Dale. I don't know. I mean, I wish I knew. But
Yeah.
I give it. I'm a little bit higher. I give it like a 4, I think, because I mean the whole thing is just amazing. The casting, the writing, the everything about it is like.
I honestly am going to have to go deeper into it.
It gets weirder, I think.
And speak about deeper into it. This is a question purely for you.
Uh-oh.
So I sent you some preview work that that we're producing together.
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
It was beautiful.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it great?
Yeah. I sent you I don't know if you ever saw my response, because
Yeah,
I
saw
sent
it.
an old school email, and I'm like, oh, well, he's probably never going to get this. And I sent it to TJ on purpose. And I sent TJ a message on Facebook saying, hey, I'm going to make this hard for you. I just emailed you a response. Or no, I emailed him the audio for something that we were working on too.
Oh,
But-
right. Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no,
Yeah,
I think it's amazing. It's I'm really excited about it because it's only like the first 2 minutes of it, I think. So
Right.
It was a nice
It's the first
teaser.
2 minutes. But it's pretty interesting, isn't it?
totally, yeah. I think fans of just movies in general will like it.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping to get now my son is like going, oh, I don't know if this is going to do anything at all. You know, it's but he's heard all my stories since he was a child. And he's in several of them. So, you know, I mean, I don't think that he has any center to it, you know, and
He might be biased a little bit.
I am super happy with it.
Well,
I mean,
it's not
there's
just your
things-
stories too, because
it's not going to be. No,
Yeah.
that's not the point of it at all.
yeah, that's where we're starting though,
But
because
the
you're the
thing
center
is,
of attention.
I do have the ability to get these stories out of people that they don't normally. Because I'm coming. I was going to point out something that when I was talking to Tom Bellissimo about, I got him to come on Rabbit Hole. I had tried to get him on Dream Warrior for the longest time, and he didn't want to have anything to do with it. And then I actually blackmailed him into
Is that
coming
because
on
of
Rabbit
me?
Hole.
He didn't like me.
No.
He's that guy you talk to. I don't want to talk to him,
No,
but I'll talk to
he gets-
TJ.
No, he gets nervous about it because he's still working in the business.
We did a great
Right.
job telling that story.
I thought so.
Yeah.
So, but the great thing is I was asking him for permission to use some, and he goes, no way, I can't, I can't do that. And then I go, you're talking about, because in that interview the longest story that he told was about Tarantino, about working with Tarantino, right? And I'm not going to go into it,
Right. Yeah.
but this was a little tiny piece of it, but it really wasn't based on the Tarantino thing as much as it was just based on his work.
No,
right?
that was just a behind the scenes story, really.
Right, just a little tiny behind the scenes story. But it took me it took me about a week of trying to talk him down to say, look, it isn't about all that 15 minutes of like you telling stories about Tarantino. This is a little tiny story about you, you know?
Right.
So finally pointing that out, you know, it got it there. And that's the thing that I wanted to say about what we're doing is we are doing stories about guys, about the weird, truly behind the scenes stuff that you don't hear about.
Right.
You know, it's almost the inside of the inside jokes.
Exactly. And it's from like, well, most of them are probably from, I would imagine, they're not from actors or actresses for the most part. I think they're mostly from crew members, which is people you don't really hear from that often. Right.
It's I think it's going to be super entertaining. I think the 2 minutes that we've got right now, I mean, and we're working on blasting forward, it's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah,
I can't wait till we have like 80 episodes in the bag. Is that too ambitious?
Well, it's really funny how this stuff works is you just start working on this stuff one thing at a time. And the next thing you know, like you got a podcast that has 200 and odd something.
Yeah, I know. We're nearing 300 episodes.
Right, exactly.
Which I think that means pretty soon you're going to have to review the movie Rope with me.
Yeah.
Because I said that way back, like in episode 5 or something. I'm like, hey, if we ever get to like episode blah, blah, blah. I think it was over 300 something.
Yeah, that's right. Well, my wife is going, my wife keeps going, you haven't done Poltergeist yet.
She's right.
Yeah. And I'm going, oh, okay, someday. And the thing is then I remember, well, I actually worked with that director.
Oh, really?
You know, Toby Hooper.
Oh, cool.
Did Poltergeist, right? You know, so I guess there's a reason for me to do it.
There you go.
For us to, you know, boldly go where, oh, I'm tired.
Yep. Well, I have Puppet Master on my list.
Well, there you go. We have to, because you know what? Jeff Burr is a Puppet Master.
Right.
I think he did the second, the third, and the fourth.
I don't know. I'm only really familiar with the first one.
Yeah, there you go.
But I did love the first one, just so you know. I'm already giving away how I feel about it. I shouldn't do that. Okay. Anyway, I should leave that guy sitting in his Honda in suspense. The same guy that I tickled his ass with a feather.
Oh, that guy.
That's a weird reference that nobody is going to understand if they only hear this episode.
God, I hope not.
So actually, well, since we're done talking about baskets, apparently, and we talked about our cartoon, is it okay if we're calling it a cartoon, or is that a bad thing?
Our cartoon, Behind the Screams, the series?
Yeah, because we didn't say it was a cartoon.
Oh, we didn't say that it was animated. No,
yes.
It's not.
It's animated. That's what I mean to say. Sorry, I didn't mean to say the C word.
Yeah, what? Now, what are you, British?
Yeah, so this is a nice segue because we just got done talking about the amazing animated series Behind the Screams.
Right. We just
saw this series on IMDb. The very first, I was amazed to find out it's the very first scripted IMDb series, and it happens to be an animated series. Yeah. And the episodes are like 3 minutes long. And the weird thing is I was watching on an IMDb and it kept trying to play them out of order, but I forced it to play in order, which I don't think that matters at all.
And I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Why was it so hard to get them to go in order?
I don't know.
For some reason, I went with the first one, and then it wanted to play the sixth one, and then it wanted to play the 10th one, and finally I had to keep on going through them all the way to the end. You know, blah, 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 kept going through until I found the second one, and I did the same thing on the third, and then all of a sudden it started playing them, you know, in sequence once I got to the fourth.
Right.
And I was curious about this. Did you not really enjoy the length of them?
Actually, it was perfect. It was like a nice little I'll take a little break and watch a 3-minute episode. It was kind of cool. Of course, I powered through like 5 at once.
Yeah, exactly. You know, well, I went through the first season.
Well, it's like watching a clips on YouTube where you kind of like, oh, I'll watch this one, and then you see that right thing on the right that I shouldn't even look at.
Right, that's right. You shouldn't look at it because it's got associated.
What I do is I right click on them and I open like tabs and tabs, so I have like 5 tabs open at once, and then I watch them all, and then I get to this other rabbit hole and I open more tabs, and then my computer crashes on me, and like.
But Kelsey Grammer's voice in this is amazing. Amy Sedaris is great as Medusa.
Yeah, well, Kelsey Grammer plays the retired therapist,
and he's a vampire.
Right. Yes.
Right.
Yes. So he's a therapist for monsters, and yeah.
I love the thing that he has about talking about that one client that he had over the years, that Dracula.
Yeah.
Right.
He's not supposed to talk about it.
Not supposed to talk about it. Not supposed to let him know. But it's Dracula, right?
Right. And then Patton Oswalt is trying to get into the therapy sessions, but he's not allowed because he's human. And he's a miserable man.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't know. That's kind of a lame character, I think. But I don't know. The whole thing is just kind of ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, but it's kind of funny. It's funny as hell. It's well written throwaway lines. It's basically it's just a bunch of one-liners.
Yeah, if you're into horror movies, it's like they throw every character at you basically.
Yeah, I love The Ring.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I love The Ring, and at one point she has to climb out of the phone instead of out of the movie screen. Right. And she's really, really small, and so he just has to go in with his fingers and make her big again, by separating it like you do on your phone. She goes, oh man, I can just see maybe 3 or 4 guys sitting around the table with a bong and just
totally.
And just whapping out one-liners, off of horror films.
Well, I think they kind of so there's Freddy Krueger's in I think it's 4th or 5th. I can't remember which episode it was, but maybe 5th episode.
Yeah.
But I think they could have done that one a little bit better.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, Well, the thing is it so obviously centers back on him.
Right. Yeah.
Right on the therapist, and doesn't quite have anything to do with or much to do with the monsters that come in. But they really didn't do they didn't really pay him much attention.
I did like the line where he's like, "You fell asleep on me?"
Yeah, on me. And of course, we knew that he had to, right?
Of course.
There you go. Yeah.
A little too convenient, wasn't it? I guess that's what's funny about it. But I don't know. So I even though it sounds like I really like this, I kind of like it, kind of in the middle. Like maybe I don't know, maybe like a 2.8, kind of like above average. But I wasn't like totally thrilled with it.
Yeah, I was probably a 2.9 or a 3. But it's really kind of enjoyable. What I wonder is I had never heard of it before, and I keep wondering, if I walk away from these things, how many of them I'm actually going to go back and search to find again.
Well, I just happened to be on IMDb and I saw it pop up. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I'll click on this. What is it?
Which is it's an interesting thing that I wanted to talk about at some point. Is there's something nowadays where there is literally so much stuff.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, sometimes I think about it and I'm overwhelmed because we have like so many ways to watch things and there's no way to get to everything.
Well, here, think about this. There's all these TV series out there, right? And I mean, we start and do 2 or 3 of them to get a feel for the series, and I never have time to actually go back, because there's so much stuff is just right there in my face.
Yeah. I have to really like something to watch like all the way through. Like Breaking Bad, I pretty much watched like in like a 3-day period, I think, when I first saw it.
Right. Well, yeah. it was kind of like why I kept just watching the animated monster one.
Yeah, because they're short, easy to watch.
Well, not only are they short and easy to watch. The thing is whatever point I set it down at, there's very little chance I'll ever think to go back.
Right.
There's just too much stuff out there.
Yeah, there is.
But there's literally too much stuff for you to like do anything during the day, and then come back and follow one particular thing. It's like every time I open up my computer and look down, there's something, like 5 recommendations about, and me, I mean, people send me stuff all the time.
Oh yeah.
I'm sent every possible fan film you can imagine is in my messenger box somewhere.
Oh, so that leads me to something. I was daydreaming actually. Believe it or not, I daydream. But and Freddie doesn't ever visit me, but luckily,
yeah.
So no, I was daydreaming about like a show. I think I kind of talked to you about it a little bit. I'll tease it a little bit in case it ever happens. But
right.
I was thinking like Professor Mick Strawn, otherwise known as PMS. He could be like a professor that like, these films that are being sent to him, he could like kind of pick his favorite one every like month or so, and like, or whatever the time frame is, and we get that filmmaker on the show and we talk about stuff, and they could ask you questions and you could teach them amazing things and then tell stories about your career, and then you could even bring on other people that relate to what they're talking about. It's like you can kind of pre-screen them a little bit, but I think that would be an amazing podcast, personally.
That just sounds like so much work.
Not just because I thought of it, but because it's amazing. Well, no, it would be work for the producer of the show.
Yeah, right, exactly. See, that's the thing is I will only go as far anymore as like my producers will throw me something.
Right.
I have a really funny one that I came up with in a dream.
Oh, here we go.
So,
a real dream, not just a daydream.
No, this is a real dream in the middle of doing this shoot, right?
Okay.
After we shot the first weekend, next day I was playing that weekend. I was playing the biker,
right?
With there was 5 of us. I think 5 of us that were sporting in full colors. Right. And I didn't talk at all. Louis, who Jason Brooks is doing the talking.
I love Louis. Yeah.
Right. And I'm just agreeing with him. Right. Basically, that's what I was doing. And so I had a dream that night that I cannot tell you where this came from, but I dreamed that that we were in this stage, a white stage, right? And that all it was that super like makeup, like pure expensive white lighting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like for a makeup commercial, right?
Right.
And for some reason just it's me and Jason, and Jason's rambling away and I'm just following him around on the stage, right? and I don't know, but at some point we just both of us look at the camera, and I heard, that old song.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Right?
Wow.
That's all.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
And I woke up. And so I say, wow, that is really. So I told Jason about this the next day. Then he goes, wow. He says, do you know that I now work for a makeup company?
Oh, really?
As the outreach director.
Oh, wow.
I was like, really? And so he's now putting that out, all putting together a basically a makeup tutorial that's with Jason and me, with Jason as doing his character and me doing like I don't talk, right? And we'll have like another makeup woman in there.
So it's like Penn and Teller for makeup?
Exactly, right. Penn and Teller for makeup, right, exactly. So I think that that's going to conquer the interweb.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it sounds amazing.
Yeah, I think it'd be just funny as hell, you know? Because Louis is so, you know, him.
Oh, yeah, Louis.
And I can just basically just stand there and nod, you know?
And you know, people that don't know should obviously check out Vengeance 2.0.
Yeah, and you would see Louis.
Exactly.
Louis' character is the best. So, anyway, that's you know.
Well, I got excited when I found Louis on Facebook. I'm like, oh my gosh, Louis has a profile? This is amazing.
He does. So anyway, that's everything that's happening.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's a busy time here.
I'll work on my PMS idea, Professor Mick Strawn.
You work on that. I love all my producers and
how many do you have now?
Moving.
You say
I got 2 of them, so you know.
Oh, but it feels like 5.
Well, yeah, but yeah, that's true. Well, I also had Deborah, so she's going to wind up being a producer too. So
well, there you go.
That's each one carrying the different part of the load. So there you go.
I feel like in the future there's going to be a podcast about all the people who need to talk to each other because they've gone through this horrible thing and done a podcast with Nick Strawn. And we all need support. It's like, hey, I'm Kurt, and I did a podcast with Mick Strawn. You know what? And everybody says hi, Kurt.
Yeah, that's what they call therapy.
Right, exactly.
Okay, man. You know what? It's really late.
Yes, it is.
I'm tired of this.
I kept you up late, and you're an earthworm. Or wait, no, what is it? The earthworm gets the early bird? Wait, no, I have it backwards. You're like the bird that needs to get up early to catch the earthworm. That's what I was trying to say.
God, I don't wake up early anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then.
See you, people. Bye.
All right, bye. Thanks for joining us on the Dream Warrior Review podcast. Don't forget to tell your friends about us, follow us, and, of course, like us. We can be found on Podbean, which is an amazing app, YouTube, Stitcher, Alexa on any pod, iTunes, Google Play. We're on Twitter as well, at DW Review, and, of course, Facebook. You can find us there. You can also email us at dreamwarriorreview@gmail.com.